Okay, imagine for a second that you own the most secure house on the block. I'm talking a fortress.
Right.
You've got like 3-foot thick steel reinforced walls, biometric scanners at the gates, motion sensors, maybe even lasers crossing the hallway like in a spy movie. It's completely impenetrable.
Sounds more like a bank vault than a house, but okay, I get the picture.
Exactly. It's secure. But then, one afternoon, the doorbell rings. You look at the monitor, and it's a delivery guy. He's in a uniform, holding a pizza box, smiling. And you think, oh, nice, I'm hungry. So what do?
You let him in.
You buzz him in, you disable the alarm, you unlock the steel door, you invite him right into your living room. And that is the exact moment you lose everything. Because inside that pizza box, it isn't pepperoni. It's the key to your vault.
That is a terrifying image, but it is the perfect analogy for what we're talking about today.
It is, isn't it?
Because in the digital world, the most dangerous threat isn't the hacker who bashes down your firewall. It's the threat that you invite in yourself.
Exactly. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are looking at a specific type of malware that is, I think, surprisingly misunderstood, even though everyone knows the name. We're talking about the computer Trojan horse, or just the Trojan.
Right. And we have a fantastic stack of source material today. Technical excerpts, cybersecurity reports, all sorts of things that really drill down into the mechanics, the dangers, and crucially, the psychology behind this threat.
And the mission for this deep dive is pretty specific. We're not just, defining a generic computer virus. We want to understand exactly how this malware operates, why our sources all emphasize that it relies entirely on us making a mistake, and how on earth we can spot a disguise that's designed to look perfect.
That's the key word right there. Disguise. If there's one thing you should take away from these sources, it's that a Trojan is fundamentally a confidence trick. It's not a brute force attack, it's a con game.
Okay, so let's unpack that. I've got the source material right here. Let's start with the core definition. What exactly is a Trojan? Because I feel like people use the word virus and Trojan interchangeably.
They do.
Like, my computer slows down. I just say, oh, I have a virus.
Most people do, and that is a huge misconception. The source defines a computer Trojan horse as a type of malware that disguises itself as legitimate or useful software to trick users into installing it. That's the headline.
Okay.
But here's where it gets fascinating. The source makes a crucial distinction between a Trojan and things like, viruses or worms.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the difference? Is it just semantics?
It's not just semantics, it's the mechanics. It's about how they move. Viruses and worms are designed to self-replicate. They spread by themselves.
Right.
Think of a worm like a biological contagion. If you're on the same Wi-Fi network as an infected computer, a worm can scan for a vulnerability, jump to your machine, and infect you without you touching a single key. It spreads autonomously.
That's the scary outbreak movie scenario.
Yeah.
But a Trojan.
The source is crystal clear on this. A Trojan does not spread by itself. It has zero ability to self-replicate. It's just inert code.
Wait, really? So it can't just jump onto my laptop because I'm on the same network as someone who's infected?
No. It relies entirely on what the source calls deception and user action. It cannot work unless you, the user, physically open the door and install it. It's just sitting there, harmless code, basically a digital rock, until you pick it up and throw it through your own window.
That somehow makes it even scarier. It's like a vampire. It can't come in unless it's invited.
That's a great analogy. It puts the responsibility and the power squarely on the user. The malware writer can create the most sophisticated, destructive code in the world, but it's useless unless they can trick you into double-clicking that icon.
Which brings us to the name, Trojan horse. I think most of us have this vague memory of the story from high school. Or maybe that Brad Pitt movie, Troy.
Right.
But the source material actually breaks down the etymology. Why this specific name?
It is quite possibly the best named piece of technology in history because the metaphor is just, it's perfect. The source refers back to the ancient Greek story of the Trojan War.
Okay, refresh our memories. The Greeks were trying to get into the city of Troy, right?
Exactly. For 10 years, they'd been besieging the city. The walls were too high, the gates were too strong, brute force wasn't working, they just could not break in.
They got clever.
They'd changed tactics entirely. They built this massive wooden horse, hid their best soldiers inside its belly, and then pretended to sail away. They left the horse on the beach as a gift, supposedly an offering to the gods for a safe trip home.
And the Trojans, thinking they'd finally won the war, see this beautiful trophy.
Exactly. They opened the city gates, the same gates that had held for a decade, and they dragged the horse inside the city themselves. They literally brought the enemy in.
Oh, man.
And that night, while the city celebrated and slept, the soldiers climbed out, opened the gates for the rest of the army, who'd sailed back under the cover of darkness.
And the city fell. Not because the walls failed, but because the defenders were tricked.
Exactly. And if you connect this to the digital version, the myth is a perfect mirror. The digital Trojan hides its malicious code, the soldiers, behind a trusted appearance.
The wooden horse.
The wooden horse is the file you think is safe, the game, the app, the document, and you, the user, you are the citizens of Troy, dragging it right through your own firewall.
It's brilliant in a really dark way.
Yeah.
But unlike the Greeks, hackers aren't building wooden statues. Let's talk about what these digital horses look like today. The source has a whole list of common camouflage.
Right, and they all prey on very specific human desires or habits. The first one is probably the most common, the free stuff lure.
Of course. Who doesn't love free stuff?
Exactly. The source mentions free apps or games. You search for a game that usually costs money, maybe a utility app to clean up your hard drive, and you find a free version on some third-party site.
Free Minecraft, free MP3 converter, that kind of thing.
Right. It looks legitimate. It downloads an installer. It might even install the actual game you wanted. But bundled deep inside that installer is the Trojan. The malicious code is stapled to the real code. So you get your entertainment, but you also get the attacker.
It appeals to that desire to get something for nothing, which leads right into the second disguise the source mentions: cracked or pirated programs.
This is a huge vector. The source explicitly flags this. It appeals to the user who wants expensive professional software, photo editing tools, video production suites, but doesn't want to pay for it.
I feel like there's a massive psychological trap there. If you're already doing something a little bit sketchy, like downloading pirated software, you're probably ignoring security warnings anyway.
Precisely. Think about the instructions you usually see on those sites. Step 1 is almost always disable your antivirus.
Oh, right. They tell you it's a false positive.
It is social engineering at its finest. The attackers know that if you're looking for pirated software, you're already willing to bend the rules. So they tell you, hey, your security software will flag this, but it's not a virus, just turn it off. You disable your shields, you run the crack, and you've just voluntarily handed over the keys to the kingdom.
That's a really good point. You've already lowered your own defenses.
Ah.
What about the third one? This one scares me because it preys on people trying to be responsible.
Software updates. The fake update.
Oof. I've definitely seen these.
You're browsing a website and a pop-up appears. It uses the exact same colors and fonts as your operating system. It says, your video player is out of date. Click here to update.
Or, your browser is outdated. Click to fix a security risk.
Exactly. It exploits that desire to keep a computer running smoothly. We are trained to update our software. We know updates are good. So the attackers mimic that design to trick you into downloading their payload. You think you're fixing a problem, but you're actually creating a massive one.
And the fourth one from the source.
Email attachments. This exploits curiosity or just routine. You get an invoice, a shipping notification, a document from HR.
Urgent. Payroll discrepancy.
That's a classic. You open it without thinking because it looks like part of your daily life. It creates urgency. You click the attachment to see what's wrong, and boom, the Trojan executes.
It's all social engineering, every single one.
It is. The Trojan doesn't hack the computer. It hacks the human. The user believes they are downloading something they want or need. That belief is the vulnerability.
So let's say the trick works. I'm a citizen of Troy. I've seen the free game. I've clicked install. The horse is inside the gates. What happens when the soldiers climb out? What's the payload?
This is the reveal phase. Once it's installed, the mask comes off, digitally speaking. And the source lists several malicious actions, and they range from invasive to just catastrophic. The first one is remote access.
This is often called RAT, right? A remote access Trojan.
Yes, exactly. It essentially turns your computer into a zombie that the hacker controls from anywhere in the world. It creates a backdoor. They can see your screen in real time, move your mouse, access all your files.
It sounds like something out of a horror movie.
It gets creepier. They can often activate your webcam and microphone without the little indicator light turning on. It's like they're sitting in the chair next to you, invisible, just watching.
That's thoroughly disturbing.
And it gets worse. The source lists data theft as a primary function. This isn't just stealing random files. The Trojan is programmed to hunt. It looks for passwords, messages, financial data. It can scrape your browser for something called session cookies.
What are those?
Think of them like a digital wristband at a club. Once you log into your email or your bank, the site gives you a cookie so you don't have to type your password again for a while. If the Trojan steals that cookie, the hacker can log into your accounts on their machine without ever needing your password.
So while you're playing the free game you downloaded, the Trojan is quietly emptying your digital pockets.
Exactly. And because it doesn't usually crash your computer, you might not even know it's there for weeks. But there's another danger the source mentions that I think is really critical: the gateway effect.
What does that mean?
Well, the source says a Trojan can install additional malware. So think of the Trojan as just the first soldier through the gate.
Yeah.
His job is to open the door for the heavy artillery.
So it's just the delivery truck.
Right. The text specifically mentions ransomware and spyware. So the Trojan gets in, maybe it's a small, hard-to-detect file. It then connects to a server and downloads ransomware to lock up all your files. Or it installs a keylogger to record everything you type. It just opens the floodgates.
The source also lists sabotage, monitoring or damaging files.
Yes. Sometimes the goal isn't theft, it's just destruction. Or they might use your computer as part of a botnet, linking your machine with thousands of others to attack a bigger target. Your computer becomes a soldier in their army without you even knowing it.
Okay, so we know how it gets in, we know what it does. But let's talk about the fallout. Why does this matter to the person listening right now beyond the creepiness factor?
Right, the real-world impact. Well, first and foremost, financial fraud and identity theft.
That's the big one.
If they have your passwords and your financial data, they can empty bank accounts, sure. But more dangerously, if they find your tax returns or your social security number, they can steal your entire identity, open loans, apply for credit cards, just ruin your financial life.
And that is a mess that can take years to clean up. It's a nightmare.
And then there's the privacy aspect the source mentions, the loss of privacy. Just think about what is on your computer, your messages, your photos, your browsing history, medical records.
Things you do not want the world to see.
A Trojan can copy all of that and send it off. It's a violation of your personal space in the most profound way.
And the source uses a phrase that really stuck with me: complete device compromise.
That's the total loss scenario. If an attacker has remote access and has installed ransomware, you lose everything: the device, the data, the hardware. You are locked out of your own digital life. If you don't have backups, those photos of your kids, that novel you were writing, it's just gone.
Okay, I am thoroughly terrified. I feel like unplugging my router. But the source material does give us a way out. There are defense strategies.
There are, and they're surprisingly simple. Because remember the core principle. The Trojan relies on you making a mistake. If you stop making those mistakes, the Trojan is powerless. It's a rock. Remember, it can't hurt you if you don't pick it up.
So what's the first piece of actionable advice?
Download software only from official and trusted sources. This is the golden rule.
It sounds so obvious, but in the moment, when you really want that one app, it can be hard to stick to.
It requires discipline. But if you want an app, go to the developer's actual website. Go to the official App Store or the Google Play Store. Do not download it from a random forum called freebestapps.net. If you stick to official sources, you eliminate a massive percentage of the risk.
And that ties right into the second point, the pilot risk.
The source is blunt. Avoid cracked or pirated software. We talked about this. The risk to reward is just not there. You might save $50 on some software, but you could hand over your entire life savings to a criminal syndicate. It's just not worth it.
What about email? We all get hundreds of them. How do we spot the fake invoice?
Email hygiene. The rule is, don't open unexpected email attachments.
The key word there is unexpected.
Exactly. If your mom sends you a photo, fine. But if you get an invoice from a company for a package you didn't order, do not open the attachment, even if it has the right logo, even if it looks real.
That's what you do. Just ignore it.
Verify it through a different channel. Don't click the link in the email. Go to your browser, type in the company's official website, log in there, and check your order history. If it's not there, the email is a fake.
And finally, the technical shields. Because we're all human, we might slip up.
We all make mistakes. That's why the source emphasizes keeping your operating system and apps updated. Those updates often contain security patches that close the very holes Trojans try to exploit.
And the last line of defense.
Reputable antivirus and security software. It's your safety net. If you do accidentally download the Trojan, a good antivirus should spot the signature of the malicious code and block it before it can even run.
It's like having a bouncer at the door checking IDs even after you, the homeowner, already invited the guest in.
Exactly. It catches the disguise before the mask comes off.
Okay, so let's try to summarize all this. We've covered a lot of ground.
If we boil it down, A Trojan is a master of disguise. It mimics things we want, games, tools, updates to trick us into installing it. And unlike a virus, it cannot spread on its own. It needs your permission.
And once it gets that permission,
It opens a doorway for remote access, data theft, and even more malware like ransomware. It can lead to financial ruin and a total loss of privacy.
but crucially, because it needs our permission, we have the power to stop it.
By sticking to official sources, avoiding pirated stuff, being skeptical of unexpected emails, and keeping our systems up to date.
You know, usually when we talk about cybersecurity, we're talking about sophisticated hackers typing code at light speed.
Yeah.
But this deep dive, it's been different.
It has.
It feels much more psychological.
That is the fascinating thing about the Trojan horse. It has worked for thousands of years, from the gates of ancient Troy to the laptop on your desk, because human nature hasn't really changed. We're curious, we're trusting, we want things to be easy, we love a free gift.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. The source material made it very, very clear. A Trojan cannot spread on its own. It relies entirely on user action. So, if the malware is powerless without us, does that mean the ultimate security vulnerability isn't the software code or the operating system,
Yeah.
but our own human trust? Are we the bug in the system?
But that's the question, isn't it? The machine is secure. The human is the variable.
Something to think about the next time you see a big download now button. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Stay safe out there and watch what you invite in.